Well, I like to do better. Second year, I kind of set the bar for myself. I want to raise the bar. I feel like we went out and got some young talent to help out what we already have. Um, Kelley and Lilly here should help out quite a bit. I feel like we're a team that could push for that conference championship. Obviously, we won 8 as a school last year. Unfortunately, cross country wasn't one of those. So I like to change that. I like to be able to win a conference championship on the men's side and the women's side. So these two ladies will help us out, and going from there, we missed out on going to nationals after going from back-to-back years, the 2 previous seasons before that. We think we need to go back to nationals. We need to be that national limelight, and it's one thing we always have our focus. I set the schedule for we end in December. We don't end in November. So that's essentially what our plans for next year. Well, Kelley is a senior. I think Kelley's going to make one of the biggest impacts. She's improved quite a bit just in the year that I've coached her. Had a great summer. Actually went out to Colorado and trained for a little bit, so got a little altitude training. I think Lilly had a great summer too as well. I think Lilly is going to be one of the ones that's going to make a big difference. She had a freshman year that was tough. I think she's going to come out of that okay. I think she's going to have a great sophomore year. Had a great time trial at the beginning of the season. I think some of the incoming freshmen too are going to be help us quite a bit. We're a young team in some sense, and we're an older team in others. We kind of mix. We've got a half and half. So that experience hopefully will help out some of the younger kids. Well, our schedule is meant to be challenging. We don't get an idea how good we're going to be until we challenge some of the better schools. One thing that separates us from other schools is we can challenge the Division I schools almost weekly. So we do that. Our first race in Greenville, South Carolina, is going to be very challenging. Last year, some of the times they were pretty impressive. So we're going to go there and we're going to see what we can do. We did very well there. We're hoping to come out of that race and be in the top 25 in the country. Essentially, is one of my goals for the season. Then we go into Gainesville. We have to show up in our state, and I feel like going to Gainesville and Florida State this year, it's going to show well. I think those races will help out recruiting for the future, and the fact that a lot of schools that we're running against in our region, or in some cases our conference, will be there. So we have to run well there, and I feel like the schedule sets up well for them running well in the postseason. Well, it's great because as a coach, I get to see how my development is compared to kids who I was trying to recruit that went Division I. In many cases, some of our guys and girls are in awe of some of these people they ran against in high school who were so great. But we get a race toe-to-toe with them, and we beat them in many cases. And it shows that what I'm doing is working, and what our program is doing is working. And in many cases, it's your bar that you judge yourself against. And many of the schools in Florida are considered top-notch schools in Division I. So if you can compete with them, you can compete with anybody in Division II. Biggest thing was, as a coach and a distance coach, we try to get more mileage in. Essentially, we need to increase the aerobic base of our athletes, our student athletes. And I feel like we had to take the next step. You kind of groom your student athletes along to get to a certain point, and in some cases they may not be ready for the mileage, so you need to adjust that. And it's a simple thing, but going from 60 miles a week to 70 to 80 to 90 miles a week, you can't just do that just like that. You have to kind of give time to adjust. So that's the kind of thing I looked at. I think that was one big adjustment I made for this upcoming season. They're going to be tired many days up until we start trying to back off of that. But I think it's going to make a big difference in the postseason where it really matters.
Well, I would hope that our team will win conference this year and make it to nationals. That's always the goal. Last year we came just short of that, which was disappointing. But this year there's no reason why we shouldn't be up there contending for that. So it's definitely the goal.
Personal goals,
Sure.
Definitely to improve from last year. It was rough. I had a bunch of blood work issues, but I think we got 2 really good freshmen, and already these first few weeks of training, we've worked really well together. Push each other, so definitely to improve and win conference. It's always the goal for everybody. So
Yes. Well, as far as going through up to her junior year, Kelley has got an impressive resume. It kind of mirrors kind of some of our better runners that I ran with, and on the women's side that I teamed up with. She's done a lot. I mean, even the point of progressing our team to another level. Never before have they went to nationals, and then going back to back. they didn't win conference championships for a long period of time, and then they went back-to-back conference championships while she was here. That's something that I never did, and she can take that. And I'll tell you, she's scratching the surface right now. If anything, what I'm seeing as the past year or so, this could be a pretty impressive year for her, and ultimately could be one of the most impressive resumes ever that we've had.